Hey everybody, Phil/Polygon here. Quick little disclaimer before we jump into the roundtable. We'll try and make it fun. Just as time is convoluted in Lordran, and probably Drangleic, and probably Lothric too. Time is convoluted in real life, man. This is the roundtable that time forgot. We recorded this a long time ago, months ago, and months before that, we actually recorded an initial take that we weren't happy with. Then it took a while to edit, and I sat on it forever because it was right around the time where I was getting back into Dark Souls 3, as evidenced by content on the channel. And I didn't want to send out any mixed messages. This was recorded in the height of my, I'm just kind of soulsed out period. Keep in mind, this is from a while ago. Opinions absolutely change. I can speak only for myself, but maybe the Visionary and Lady Canton feel the same way. Regardless, recorded a while ago, putting it out. Here we go. Hey guys, Phil/Polygon here. Welcome to another roundtable discussion. Joining me are the usual suspects, Justin, aka the Visionary. What's up, man?
Hi there.
And no roundtable would be complete, even though we have tried, without Lady Canton. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Feeling better?
Yeah, feeling better.
Yeah, you might hear it in my voice, but I'm doing better. I'm on my way up.
That's good.
Yeah.
Excelsior. Cool. So this time out, we're gonna break some silence, talk about Dark Souls 3. Just initial impressions of the game, kind of headspaces around it at this point. Will we ever be back to Souls on any channels? We'll see. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about some other stuff too. Overwatch is still raging pretty strong. I have yet to play it, though I'm very curious. Kid on the outside glass of a candy shop looking at everybody else playing it, having such a good time, wondering what I'm missing. So we'll talk about Overwatch a little bit. We'll talk about maybe some Deus Ex. There are some Deus Ex fans amongst us. So we'll talk about Mankind Divided, which just came out. And just, I don't know, we'll see where it goes. We'll hop on the train and see where it goes. All right.
You know, regarding Overwatch, I almost just want to fucking buy it for you to force you to play it. Since I know it worked with Momodora.
That doesn't always work, though. It doesn't always work. I mean, okay. You guys are examples of this. Owning a game does not mean that you will play it.
Yeah.
Because you're always talking about my 100 strong title library or hundreds strong. Having a game.
I have over 320 now.
Yeah.
I bought 20 games on Saturday.
And how many of those have launched? Like, how many of those have you ever launched? If you had to guess. Rough number.
About like 35.
35.
See, the problem is I'm like obsessive. So when I play a game, like it's almost a requirement for me to fucking sink my teeth, like get into a game for me to play it. That's why like Warframe, I have like 740 something hours, and like every like top game I have is always over 50. So it's either like 50 plus or like 0.07.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way. I mean, I play not a lot of games deeply.
Mm-hmm.
I have
what about you, Ken?
So many titles like that. Like I have like FTL and Isaac and like a bunch of the games that I really like.
Isaac is your big one.
They're all like just 50 hours plus. Like FTL, I knew as soon as I played it, I'd be like, I'm going to do 50 hours in this game. This is how it's going. I know it.
Yeah, all right. Speaking of games that we have sunk large chunks of life into, how about that Dark Souls 3? Let's go around the horn. Let's start off with just initial impressions. We all played it day one, many months ago now. We're recording this thing at the end of August, so this thing has been out for...
Canton played it day negative...
Yeah, day negative 14 or whatever it was. Little help from the Googles, possibly. Like that. I know that squiggle means key.
March 24.
Oh
Yes.
March 24, yeah. So the North American release was on the 12th of April.
My birthday.
This thing has been... Oh, happy belated. This thing has been out for...
It's fucking August.
I know. That's why I said belated.
Okay.
I covered it. I caught it.
Fair. All right.
So it's been out for a while. We did all play it day one. If it's possible to jump back
into those shoes we were wearing in April, end of March, and played this thing for the first time. Let's go around the horn. Just what were your first impressions of the game? Justin, start with you. What do you got? First impressions, Dark Souls 3. Firing it up, jumping into it. Yeah.
Well, I was watching a bit of the Japanese version, so I'll have to go back to that, because I remember helping Wi-Fi Toaster translate on his stream, and I watched Ouroboros play it for a little bit. So just first thing when I saw the game, visuals weren't anything special is what I thought. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look graphically on the whole a lot better, but that's, a shallow criticism. Then I thought the combat is more, or the combat and movement in general are more weighty than Demon Souls, but a bit heavier than Dark Souls 1, I think, or at least the movements feel, like the animations rather, feel like it. Beyond that, as far as like the nitty gritty kind of first impression, I'm struggling to find something, and therein lies the problem. It really, nothing stood out to me that much. It was kind of just like, and I hate that fucking sepia filter that's on it, or sepia, however you pronounce that word. I hate it. So I didn't look at it and go, oh, it's colorful. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, this is a gray, bleak looking rehash of 4 games or 3 games, whatever the fuck I've played so far, and I was struggling to find the innovation. Like as far as like day one, that's where I was at. I'm like, okay, I'm still looking for that new thing that's gonna change, like what's being added here, and nothing comes off the top of my head. There was this little inkling, kind of, I don't know, feeling of like, oh, what are weapon arts gonna do, and then I saw them, and I just wasn't impressed at all.
Sure.
That's like day one. So yeah, you can go ahead.
I know you had like a bit of fun with it, at least, because you contacted me quite a few times saying like, I've just been hanging out in the first zone helping people co-op. It's so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's because co-op's a fucking blast no matter what game.
And I know you had fun with the twin katanas.
Yeah. That is true. Pressing L2 like no tomorrow, man. That's fucking good.
And it did. I will say, I know you're a big fan of the fashion.
Well, yeah. Hang on. I didn't have. I don't want to make it sound like I had a miserable experience, but judging as far as like when I'm playing it, the first thing I think of is, can I recreate a past experience? Can I put 500 hours into this game?
Sure.
So I was looking for that, and I'm like, no. So far. But which isn't the same thing as me saying I didn't have any fun at all. So I don't want to exaggerate and sound like this is the fucking horrible bullshit. Fuck you, Miyazaki. Fuck you, from like. I'm not doing my usual hyperbole, but yeah, I had fun for a little bit, but then it was stretched thin.
It didn't really do anything for you, and that's fine.
No, that L2 got old real quick.
It does.
I don't know.
Canton, what about you? Can you think back?
We're talking day one.
Being extremely optimistic. And I really enjoyed my first playthrough. I really enjoyed my 12th playthrough. And I really enjoyed my 15th playthrough as well.
Oh my god.
I enjoyed my 100 hours of farming. I enjoyed making a mule for everyone to PvP with. But I kind of burnt out like I would expect someone to after playing that much of the game.
You don't fucking say.
And I'm not sure whether I'll be getting back into it, honestly. I mean, there's still 2 DLCs to go, and Dark Souls 2 changed so fucking radically in the PvP scene between release and its endgame.
Can I ask you something regarding that, though?
Yeah.
Are you looking for balance? Because most of the Dark Souls 2 stuff was balance changes and like meta kind of...
it was also a lot to do with recovery of like stuns and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, very... Is that the same thing you're looking for with Dark Souls 3?
Yeah, recovery of stuns, changes in matchmaking abilities for people to heal / summon when an invader is in the world, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, it's stuff that I think that could be done, but that I don't think they'll go to the effort of doing. Like, if I have to be completely 100% honest about it, I don't think they'll go to the effort. But they did for Dark Souls 2, so who knows?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like, I don't want to sound too disappointed or too deflated. I really, really enjoy the game, and I'm going to play the 2 DLCs because we've got Ashes of Ariandel coming now in 7 weeks or so, and that looks
October,
really cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks really cool. Yeah, I really, really like the game. I put like 600 hours into it, so it's not like it's like I put it in and then was like, bleh, and, you know, threw it out again. I really liked it, but I think I'm done with it for now. Bolly?
Yeah.
You're waiting for that patch 1.06 or whatever.
Yeah, I want
that legendary
something that lets me sink my teeth into it and just be like, all right, I can just queue up for invasions endlessly, because at the moment, I queue up for an invasion, I get in, something bothers me, I get out, and then I'm like, why do I want to continue this?
Yeah. Yeah. So. That makes sense. 600 hours is a lot. That's even more than I thought you had in it. I mean, that's a respectable number.
Yeah, that's fucking unreal, actually. I have 700 hours in Warframe, and I've been playing that for like almost 2 years.
Yeah, I played an unhealthy amount of this game.
Yeah. You are a fucking psychopath. Like, you need to...
I don't know.
No, I'm concerned for your mental health. That's nuts.
And I played it at sub 30 frames a second as well, because it was the PS4 version.
No. I want to hug you. No.
And some of it I played in moon runes. Please, help.
Oh, no.
Polly?
Yeah, I love moon runes. I never heard that phrase until fucking Dark Souls 3 came out. Everyone was saying moon runes. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Kanji.
Japanese version.
Oh.
Japanese. Yeah.
I get it now.
Fucking hilarious, and I've never heard that before until Dark Souls 3's Japanese version. I was dying. It's awesome. What about you, Polly?
I was super optimistic going into it too. I was really excited for the game because I missed Bloodborne. So the last Souls I was playing was Dark Souls 2. And it started to feel a little bit played out, and from the stuff I had seen about 3, it's like, oh yeah, it looks like it's getting, B-team, air quote, back on track, whatever the fuck you want to say. It looked like it was a return to a little bit closer to Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1. Kind of had the Bloodborne feel to it as well from just looking at it from the outside. And when I finally sat down and played it, I thought it was great. I had a great time. It was like I really enjoyed it. And I said, okay, this is going to be something that I can't wait to play more of. And it's, more Dark Souls. And then I proceeded to not play that much more of it. It wasn't negative. I didn't abandon it. It didn't leave me with a bad taste in my mouth, but I didn't have any kind of urgency to play it. Aside from just, YouTube pressures and things like that, and gotta put out a video. And stuff like that, and it just...
I think that stems, if I could just briefly... I think that stems from, like, this game really just coming down to, like, it's just more.
It is absolutely just more, yes.
Yeah, like, that's all it is. Like,
I feel like that, at least.
Because they tried so hard to appease the Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 crowds with, like, some influences from Bloodborne here and there. Like, with the exception of weapon arts, and if I'm being unfair, add something, Canton, or probably add something that I'm forgetting. But that seems to be the only real meaningful thing to the game, aside from just being an amalgamation of 1 and 2 things. Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 things.
It's just more. I love the game. I spent a psychotic amount of time with it, and it's just more of what I loved and what I can't get elsewhere. So, yeah. Didn't have a problem with it, just didn't really innovate.
It's a strength and a weakness, I think, is what I was trying to point out.
Just more is not a bad thing. I mean, we love the shit out of Souls. I was talking about this recently elsewhere, and just sort of the the formula works, and the formula is fun, and that's why we play Souls. As far as the PvE goes, like not the PvE.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it's not inherently a bad thing, but it really depends. Like for me, it's a bad thing because I look for, you're making another game with the same title instead of making a new property. The benefits of making a new property is new, like just new gameplay mechanics, new whatever. So if you're making the same something of the same franchise, you have to at least be confident enough to innovate on top of that, and to add things. And if that's not there, then that's a net bad for me.
And do you not feel...
it doesn't have to be completely new, but like something fresh, something I haven't experienced before. So for me, the more of the same is bad.
I would say, in
aggregate.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like Dark Souls 2 though was different enough from I feel like Dark Souls 2 was a pretty significant departure from Dark Souls 1.
You're right, but just through my own subjective lens, it was different in every worst way possible.
Sure.
As far as my tastes go.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right.
And I feel like that was...
And you see people from the Dark Souls 2 crowd bashing Dark Souls 3 for its carrying over certain things about Dark Souls 1 that that idea is completely alien to me because I dislike Dark Souls 2 so much. I'm like, wait, that's a good thing. That's one of the redeeming qualities about Dark Souls 3, but these people hate it. I don't know. It's just conflicting interests, and it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit
divisive game.
Yeah, definitely. And I was actually a little bit... If I have one disappointment with Dark Souls 3, it's that it did just sort of roll over and...
just coast.
Go... Like, it just went back to kind of Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 2 was a deviation. I think if Dark Souls 3 had been a further deviation, I think I would have respected it a lot more. I'm not saying I don't enjoy the game, and I'm going to continue playing the game. But I will say there was a tiny whisper of disappointment in the fact that Dark Souls 3 seemed like them saying, oh shit, we got a lot of crap for Dark Souls 2 being, so different. We broke all of these things. Let's just kind of go back to the way it was because we know that's safe and cool.
Well, yeah, would you wanted to have seen progression in the Dark Souls 2? Because to me, Dark Souls 2 is more mechanically complex because there's just more stuff, but less overall polish. Would you want to have seen a more polished experience, a more refining of assets and mechanics, or would you have preferred like more just additional mechanics implemented like the Dark Souls 2 route?
I think they should have.
When you say you would respect it more, I'm just asking what you mean in that sense.
I think it would have been cool if they had carried over dual wielding from Dark Souls 2 and added weapon arts. And maybe if they had experimented with something a little bit more Bloodborne-y, maybe if they hadn't fallen back to, using a shield and stuff like that. Maybe, I guess the dual wielding and the weapon arting kind of does that too if you don't have a weapon art shield or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I think that they could have invented more stuff to just keep your character interesting in terms of ways that you can play with him or her. Because I was kind of disappointed in the weapon arts too. I really liked, I will say, as far as like the dual wielding thing and weapon arts, I actually did dig the weapons that their weapon art was turning them into two things, because I thought the flexibility with either hand was done a lot better than dual wielding in Dark Souls 2. Like, you had legit differences in this attack chaining into a right-handed attack, chaining into an L2 attack. Like, there was some really sweet stuff in the way that the two weapons flowed together if you had one of those weapon art split weapons. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, wait, I'm sorry, I missed your point. Do you mean to say that the Dark Souls 3 one was better? You just missed like power stancing?
Yes, I guess. Or had they kept power stancing and introduced some of the weapon art stuff and maybe just built on it instead of just swapping things out.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think what it needs is just innovative combos, really. I mean, the animations, especially since so many of them are not quite reused, but just a little too familiar. They just get stale fast, so at least for me.
Some of them are straight up reused, like a lot of the katana shit is
totally.
R2, like, okay, it winds back a little slower if you charge it, but that's still the Uchigatana R2.
Yeah, totally.
Still the washing pole R2. I see
the
you.
Power stab, or the power hold.
Yeah. I don't know. I look at Dark Souls 2 as being a sloppy looking dinner that tastes amazing. Like sloppy joes.
Or chili.
I can get behind that, even though I didn't like it. I realize what it does bring to the table.
It's extremely mechanically complex, and so is Dark Souls 1. Don't get me wrong.
You gotta respect the toggling.
But Dark Souls 2 had quite a lot of mechanics to learn, and poise was a lot better, and you could at least, regardless of your stance on like these things like animation cancelling, poise, whatever, there was more. Because the problem is right now in Dark Souls 3 with so many people is that you just can't get better once you get to a certain point. And I'm thinking, I'm talking from PvP standpoint right here. You just can't get better. And this is because the game just doesn't allow you to. Like, the weapons are too fast. You get hit and rolls all the time. You have tons of iframes. Everyone has tons of heals. So it's not even fun to play like casually and invade and stuff. And the covenants don't work as well. Like the Blades of the Dark Moon and the Blue Sentinels, they don't work the way that they should. Like, people say, oh, if you do this and this and this and this and follow this, thing, and then fill out a form in triplicate, you'll be able to get, all the Dark Moon invasions that you want. But you shouldn't have to, because it's not enjoyable. And if it's not enjoyable, I don't think the game deserves a pass on that. So there is a lot of things they could have done better that they did better in Dark Souls 2. And I wish, like, including invasion mechanics, like phantoms not being able to heal if an invader's in the world, but the host still can, just little things like that would have made a lot of the Dark Souls 2 people very happy and just lengthened the lifespan of Dark Souls 3, because when we didn't hear anything about any of the DLCs and it was coming into June yet, I was like, everyone's getting kinda bored and you're kinda just breaking the game more with every regulation you put out. So I kinda need something a little more, or I am just gonna burn out like I did. So I would really like to see more of the changes from Dark Souls 2 implemented, but I don't really think that's going to happen. So
I have still not gotten into PvP at all. I mean, I'm still working through PvE. I'm baby stepping my way through the game just a little bit at a time. And so I mean, I have not even ventured out into PvP yet. I don't know that, and I'm not motivated to do so either. I think
fun.
That's the thing.
It's fun. That's the thing.
I bet it's fun. Yeah.
The PvP is fun. Just past a certain point, you can't get better, and that results in those moments where you die to someone that just spammed R1.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm better than you, and you won because your weapon AR is 537.
Sure.
And you hit the button 3 times. It's just, there's a lot of that, at the higher skill levels, which sucks because straight swords are so good. Rapiers are so good.
Still, like, there's been no Yeah, okay. Interesting. I've used neither in my PvEing. I have used neither of those things.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you didn't start off with a straight sword, because if I'd started off with a straight sword, I would have walked through the entire game with that thing. That thing is ridiculous.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think I had a, fairly early on, you get the Irithyll straight sword if you go down and take out that knight. And I had that and I put it on and I was like, oh, this looks cool. Swing, swing. No, it really doesn't. Like, I just couldn't stand the look of it. And I thought I'm a little bit tired of everything showering me with particles. Like, we don't need that many molecules catching the light as they glint through the air.
Love that.
Do you really?
I love that.
Oh my god.
I think my favorite weapon in the game is probably still the bandit's knife. I love that fucking little bullshit brown fucking dumbass knife. It's so good. I have no idea why.
Being able to do the quick step as well.
The quick step is solid. Yeah, the dash is solid.
The quick step, and it does bleed, and just backstabbing mofos.
Solid. It's a solid early game, low level invading weapon. It's good. It's fun. Being able to slide through shit.
I do feel like the game. Should we point out the fact that this is our second take at this? We actually recorded one of these a while ago. We can edit this out here.
But let's
okay.
Let's actually talk about, because I wanted to mention what I really am disappointed about losing the last one to my drunkenness and failed audio, is that I can't hear you unironically use the word honor fag.
Oh,
it was such a brilliant moment.
I'll try and work it in.
Okay.
But I was gonna say, like, this, it came up on the last one, and I still feel this way as I continue to get deeper in the game, still not having finished it, and just, snail's pacing my way through it. I do feel, especially early on, the game is kind of pandery. Like, it takes moments that are beloved from Dark Souls 1 and says, okay, we're just going to recycle a lot of those feels. Your very early encounter with the onion bro, the giant at the top of the tower shooting the great bow at you, kind of being reminiscent of like the archer scenes in Anor Londo, getting up the little buttress and just, the huge knockback sucking you down into the holes. And I feel like there was
Andre too.
Oh yeah, Andre almost immediately.
No one was happy to see Andre.
Dude, what the hell? He's just. I mean, you see him ish in Dark Souls 2, like the blacksmith in the Lost Bastille, for all intents and purposes, is Andre.
Lost Bastille.
Pretty much.
You don't think so?
I don't remember what he looked like.
Macduff, Steadyhand Macduff? Like he looked like Andre. He was kind of gruff, not terribly friendly. He was meaner than Andre.
Yeah.
But it's like
panderiness with the characters, I think, was really bad. I was honestly surprised Solaire wasn't fucking in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe he is. I haven't seen him. But
there was no Solaire bullshit in there. I was kind of happy. Like, I'm not happy. Proud of them for that shit.
For not doing it, yeah.
All there was.
But it's fucking sick of fucking praise the sun, fucking.
Yeah, that's yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god,
absolutely.
Fucking die.
But I do feel like playing through what I've played of so far. Well, like deeper, I guess. No, you know what? It's all very reminiscent. Some of it is reminiscent in a cool way. I do think I did like the Undead Legion. I liked Farron and his knights and stuff like that being reminiscent of Artorias, and kind of finding lore that, yeah, they were the wolf's blood and they were probably worshiping him or in service to him or something like that. So they kind of fight like it. I thought that was a nice homage.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was just, it felt like the developers got so much crap for Dark Souls 2 that they were like, fine, if you just want more Dark Souls 1, here you go. And that was a moment. That was a little disappointing.
There is a moment late game that I really liked there that was extremely like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember this bit from when you played Demon Souls? Because we want you to remember that bit from Demon Souls. And I really liked it regardless. Like, I could taste it in my mouth. They were going like,
oh,
you really, really like this? And I said, yeah, I really, really like this.
Are you talking about the step?
The way up to the big place? Yeah.
The way up to the... Maybe I'm not thinking of what you're thinking
okay.
of. The way up to
all
the
right.
big place.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was thinking about the step.
No.
On the... Yeah.
No.
Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
I don't
keep
know what
going.
you're talking about. I'm forgetting.
You can cut that out.
Footage in a while.
The step
No,
from
no, no.
Demon
Leave it
Souls.
in. That's what she said. Leave it in.
The step from Demon Souls. What was the step in Demon Souls?
The step was when you kill the old one and you step on the maiden in black in the final scene.
Oh, you take a step. I thought you were talking about like a step, like climb the steps.
No.
And I was like, what the
No,
fuck?
no.
Oh, gotcha.
You step on
Oh,
the
yeah,
maiden in
totally.
black.
You step over her slain body. You're like, excuse me, maiden in black.
You step on her.
Yeah, totally.
There are a few moments like that in Dark Souls 3.
All right, cool. Gives me something to look forward to. But yeah, I did feel like it was a little bit pandery. I felt like, and I felt condescended to in those moments. Like as a fan of the franchise, I will be playing these games probably forever. I think it would be almost impossible to make a Souls game that I just flat out hate. So I'm always going to play these things, even if the enthusiasm isn't as strong as it once was, even if the fires have kindled to whatever.
Don't,
yeah, totally.
Don't.
So like, I will play these things. I will enjoy these things. But being a longtime fan of the series, I do want them to at least in some way move forward. And this one felt a little bit like they were just saying, it was almost a tongue-in-cheek thing. I got the impression that they were just saying like, God damn it, you people. If you want more Dark Souls 1, we'll just fucking give you more Dark Souls 1. All right, here. Are you happy? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted when you were talking about the B team? Here's the A team making Dark Souls 1 again.
I think that's totally legitimate. I mean, not like legitimate to do, but I think you're right to some extent, because the biggest criticism of Dark Souls 2 was that it wasn't Dark Souls 1. I mean, if you remember me saying like podcasts ago that I think it was Ein that worded it and brought it to my attention in this way, was like the thing we're looking forward to, or the thing we wanted about for Dark Souls 2 was basically Dark Souls 1 DLC.
Yeah.
That's what everyone thought it was going to be. That's what we all wanted. We just wanted more shit in the but the same mechanically. And that was the biggest criticism of everyone that hated Dark Souls 2, me included. Like I just
you can't help it. You want Dark Souls 1.
Yeah. I
fell in love.
I don't even have any reason or excuse. Like I just don't like taste wise. It's not my thing. Yeah, I mean, being the chief criticism of Dark Souls 2, I mean, it stands to reason that I think they incorporated that into their development for sure.
I could see. I
to be honest.
You think what?
I did feel condescended to a few times.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah. Like yeah. Giants are friendly. Yep. Sigma's forgetful.
Right.
And dopey. Yep. Okay. Cool. Thanks. That was my experience.
And just kind of putting myself in the shoes, like projecting what it might be like to work on some of these development teams or the story teams or stuff like that, and to be on the receiving end of a lot of the criticism.
There's no story in Dark Souls.
So if you're writing lore descriptions, or there is some narrative thread in the way that things link together. But I
was being a shitlord. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. I was unable to differentiate it from normal.
Oh, damn it!
But like,
touche.
But I mean, I could absolutely see, if your feelings are hurt by stuff like that, you might be a little passive aggressive in your next game and say like, all right, is this what you fuckers wanted? Here you go. Here's more of it. Go nuts.
Yeah. I just fill it with memes.
I just feel
like all of the fucking shitty, like if every character's dialogue would be like praise the sun, fucking 2cat, fucking are there any Bloodborne memes?
I don't know.
All of them. Just throw them all in
there. Give him the sword cleaver and like Artorias' sword and great shield and be like, yeah, here you go, son.
Yeah.
And some of his armor.
There you go.
And Smo's armor.
I just steal like YouTuber made memes too. It'd be great. It'd be fucking great.
But I mean, I do like the game. I'm going to keep playing the game. But after this long, you know, I think in the pre-show, Canton, you were saying, you know, you've spent God knows how many hours in all of these things. It's been 6 years across these games, 8 if you include Demon's Souls. Demon's Souls. Like you can't be expected to have the same level of awe and wonder and enthusiasm moving forward. You're always going to like these games. You're always going to enjoy these games and have fun playing them. But it's not, your cherry can only be popped once.
Hi-oh.
Pretty much. I can't play more of these games, you know? Like, I mean, I can and I will, but
yeah.
If you came out with Dark Souls 4, if E3 came around and they were like, Dark Souls 4, enjoy, and I'd just be looking at it and going, oh my god, why? I would just be sighing at this point.
Really?
Because...
Well, you know there'd be some people saying, like, again, like, this is the real
This is
Dark
the real
Souls 2. Yeah.
Because...
This is the one we deserved 3 games later.
Because the thing is that Miyazaki... The tone that we've been getting from him in interviews is, I didn't really want to make it, but we're contractually obligated, so we made more. And now we've done our last one with Bandai Namco. So Bandai
Namco. There you go.
I like it.
Namco
Never heard of them.
What the fuck is their name? I've forgotten.
Bandai. No, you fucked me up.
Namco.
Namco Bandai.
Namco Bandai. I don't know.
Bamco.
Bandai Namco.
What is this? They've done it, and I would be super disappointed if Dark Souls 4 came around the corner, because I'm like, you said that the last one you didn't want to do. Why'd you do another one, Miyazaki? You know, I'd be very angry, and I think I'd still play it, but I would be very disappointed.
I'd play it. Let me ask you this: what if they come out with you know, Starship Souls?
I'd play it.
So are you so let me ask, I guess I'm asking, are you disappointed in... Would you be disappointed if they come out with more of this formula? If they do another Bloodborne, or another Bloodborne, not necessarily a Bloodborne 2, but if they do another spiritual sibling, would you be disappointed in that?
No, not at all.
Cool.
I would play those to the end. I do not want to see another Dark Souls, because if they came out with a Bloodborne 2 even, I would be super happy, because I want to play these games. I really, really like this formula, but they've said that they're not going to make more, you know?
Yeah.
Just let it die. Let it have a nice 3-game length, you know, just lifetime, and or 4-game if you include Demon's Souls, and just leave it at that, please.
A big part of the fatigue for me too is the circle of fire, the circle of light and dark. Like,
Cycles, man.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool in Dark Souls 1, right? You could take either ending. You can kindle the flame and keep the Age of Fire going, or you can let it die out and get served by all the giant sperm worms and go off to usher in the Age of Man, right? That's cool.
Did you say sperm worms?
Yeah, that's what the Cath and Frampt look like, don't they?
Sperm worms. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Impromptu.
Okay.
Coined.
Loving it.
So, as soon as that came up in Dark Souls 2, where it's like the same fucking thing is happening, that should have been it. Because it's sort of like, okay, we get it, it goes forever, stop making these immediately. Like that, I think that as a premise going forward and seeing changes in the world and realizing that, oh, this is the same place in the distant future, like that's not interesting. So
well, I think if they planned from like basically infinite cycles from the beginning, I'd have to point to something like The Matrix, where you like the stories about the part where the cycle was interrupted.
Yeah.
for the 6th time or whatever the fuck it was.
But even so, like the Matrix is not a wholly fair analogy because we only saw one cycle.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You go to, because that's narrative wise or lore wise or whatever, for Dark Souls 2, it was utterly pointless.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls 3 renders Dark Souls 2 absolutely pointless. Because Dark Souls 1 is it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is
everything,
just another one. Yeah.
It's just the middle filler bullshit.
I'm kind of curious how they do this because they are making. Are you guys familiar with the Gunslinger, Stephen King's Gunslinger stories? Nope. The Dark Tower. So they're making a movie of that, and it has similar. Oh, I think it's going to be pretty good though. It's got Idris Elba in it as the Gunslinger, which is kind of cool. I think.
Okay.
Idris Elba as Roland Deschain. I'm pretty excited about that. But so like the whole thing, like there's a very strong cycle thing going on in the Dark Tower that you find out about in the very last chapter of the very last book. And so I'm kind of curious to see what direction the movie takes this in. But yeah, I mean, in these never-ending cycles, you can see it once to find out that it's a never-ending cycle. And then you can see it again to maybe see some changes. But after that, it is played the fuck out.
Yes. Question. You were talking about, well, rewind like 5 minutes. I was waiting for an opportunity. That's audio playing backwards. Shit. Yeah, I
Can we get that on a soundboard?
Well done. Yeah, please. When you were talking about like how long we've been playing, like 6 to 8 years, depending on Demon's Souls. Since you, Polly, played it chronologically, how has your, not expectations, but how has your enjoyment changed? And the reason I ask this is because mine's gone in a straight downhill slope from the very first game.
Sure.
And I know that makes me a Demon's Souls fag, fucking elitist asshole. I know, whatever. I'm just curious on your take.
Yeah, I would say, so I mean, Demon's Souls, playing that for the first time, like that was something really fucking special. And I'm sure everybody can relate to that. Like people that play Dark Souls
right now, keep going.
People that play Dark Souls for the first time, like the first time you ever experience a Souls game. If it resonates with you, it cuts deep and it infects you. Like it gets in your imagination, it gets in your soul. And it stays with you, and it consumes you for a long time. And I think that's why Dark Souls 1 had such strong content and such a strong, tight-knit community for a long time, is this was kind of the first time that a lot of people were really getting into the Souls series, and they were just fired the shit up about it. Like they were just so into this thing. And that people that had that experience with Demon's Souls, same thing. When I got to Dark Souls, I thought it was amazing. And I had a ton of fun, but it wasn't that first time experience. You know what to look for. You know how to play these games. You know what to expect in terms of bosses killing you the 3, 6, 9 times you go up to face them until you get that aha moment to figure it out. You know to go retrieve your souls. You know to run past enemies and stuff like that. Like as you become more and more a veteran in these games, it doesn't detract from the fun that you have, but it definitely detracts from the specialness. So I would say I did not have a steep decline over the series, but I plateaued with Dark Souls 2. So it's like if Demon's Souls was just, oh my god, this is changing my life. Dark Souls was sort of like, this is a really great life. Dark Souls 2 was kind of like, this is a really fun, good life. And then I think it's going to stay there forever because I do like that style of game. I like Souls games. And I would play Dark Souls 4. I might be disappointed in it, but I would play it. The same way that I'm a little bit disappointed in Dark Souls 3 with some of the recycled elements and stuff like that. But I think it's a great game, and I'm going to play it and keep playing it. But it's not as special as that first time. That first time, man, is just... It is... I don't know how you can describe... You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. People listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how you could describe it to somebody who's not familiar with the Souls series in terms of playing one of these things for the first time and saying, holy shit, this game is hard. Fuck this. And you walk away. when like 2 days later you come back because you're thinking about something. You're like, God,
yeah,
that game kicked my ass, and it like hurts my ego as a person that likes, medieval action, difficult games, whatever it might be that drew you to it in the first place, RPGs, and it's like, I know I can beat that. And you go back and you try it and it kicks your ass and you're like, fuck this game is cheap. I hate it. You walk away, and a couple days later you're like, no, let me try. And then you get it and you're like, and then like the floodgates are open. Then just all bets are off and you're playing the thing solid 16 hours a day. That's how it was for me.
Oh, fuck.
You know what's funny is I had an extreme experience with that where I played it for a day, got really mad. Like, I couldn't even beat, like, 1-1. I kept dying, before I got to the boss, and I fucking traded it in to, like, the local game shop or whatever. I'm like, nope, not doing it. And then I had to rebuy it over again when one of my friends was playing it. And he's like, no, I'll guide you through it. And like, I guess I was in the typical sense, I was enjoying the game for the wrong reasons, I guess, because we were like on the phone. Like, I didn't have like Skype conveniently placed, whatever, like, 'cause it was on console, and we're like on the phone the whole time co-oping, and he was like, okay, do this and this, and instead of like the discovery, it was like me wrapping my head around all these concepts I've never seen in a game before, and like the difficulty and having like it's kind of like oh god, I'm Virgil in Dante's Inferno. having a little guy that wouldn't tell me too much, but would show me the way.
Yeah.
Ken, what were we gonna say? Sorry.
I'm just remembering the first time that I played Dark Souls, and because I didn't play Demon Souls first, I played Dark Souls, and I picked it up at the store because I was like, the cover looks neat. So I took it home and I played it, and I was like, no, this is fucking, what's wrong with this game? This is awful. Right. And I went down into no, I didn't. That's a fucking lie. I didn't even make it past the Taurus demon. And
nobody did. The first time?
I left it in my cabinet for 3 months. And then I saw it again one day and I was like, I spent $70 on you. I'm gonna beat this shit out of you. And then I kept playing it and I kept playing it, and then 6 years went by. So here we are.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like, I'm wondering how universal an experience that is. If you didn't know what it was that you were getting into, you picked it up expecting it to be like some other game. Maybe you were expecting it to be like a straight ahead action RPG, or maybe you expected it to be like a, I don't know, God of War type game. Whatever you were expecting getting into it, if everybody had that moment of saying, fuck this game, and they leave it for a time, but there's this little splinter in the back of your mind that says, I can do that. Let me try that again. I don't know what it is. Let me just pick this up and give it one more go. And then on that go is when it clicks. And you're sort of like your aha moment you were talking about, Justin, like wrapping your head around the concepts and understanding this is a totally different game than I thought it was, and it's better.
Yeah, because I thought it was Devil May Cry.
Sorry.
I thought it was Devil May Cry.
Did you really?
Because I came off like playing Devil May Cry 3, like the special edition and everything, non-stop, and moving on to the God of Wars, and I think I was playing Uncharted and stuff at the time. So I was big into, third-person action RPGs and stuff, or action, spectacle fighters, whatever. I played Bayonetta, and I picked up Dark Souls, so I was like, hey, you see, I see a knight from a third person, let's do this,
Yep.
So.
And you see the big I think the box art, like the screenshots on the back, has some of the big flashy spells. So it definitely could appear as a spectacle fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that was a stretch at all.
Your life bar in the correct, life bar, stamina, all that. Well,
and this was like back in the time
when I saw Demon Souls. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, and this is back in the time when like it was 2010, and I didn't really like go online and like look at game review sites or whatever, and I wasn't constantly like hooked into Twitter, and I wasn't hearing things about everything that came out. So I had no idea. I was literally I was their target audience, because I walked into the shop and I went, this looks cool, and picked it up and went home for no fucking reason other than it kind of looked like whatever else I was playing.
You could have a very similar experience. Like, you could also, in that, you could pick it up and look at the images on it and say, this looks like Devil May Cry. This looks like God of War. This looks like something like that. You could also pick it up, and they could have hooked you as a Dragon Age kid. You could have looked at the back of that box and said, like, man, this looks like Dragon Age. It's an action-ish RPG.
I was going to say, I looked at it, I mean, me with Demon Souls, and I remember the scene in the trailer where you had the knight walking in the fluted set.
Yep.
Walking into the tunnel in 2-1 with all the miners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this looks like a little scarier, daunting version of Oblivion, is what I thought it looked like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think just you can absolutely
I knew
see
the stamina
that,
bar and the spells were in it, and I knew it was an RPG first and foremost as far as that kind of stuff goes. But yeah, I thought it was in the vein of like Oblivion rather than an action game. But also, I think that first experience is kind of, it may happen again with a game that's coming out.
But yeah, with Nioh, I mean, I mentioned this the other day in some conversation, and I'm curious about this, because I think maybe it's throwing back to what we were talking about, not from Software making a spiritual sibling, but somebody else making a spiritual sibling. We saw Lords of the Fallen, which tried to do it and in fact fell. Maybe Nioh could be sort of this Samurai Souls, right? Maybe Nioh is a spiritual get some of the magic back. Not necessarily. I don't think anything is ever going to be able to recapture that first time magic, but there can be new first times within that formula of game. Maybe Nioh could be that for Souls fans, from what I've seen of it so far. You guys got thoughts?
The problem I'm noticing is that I think the fan base of Souls is trying to force it to be a Souls successor. So you had this actually really bothered me. Like, I was genuinely fucking irritated when I heard shit like this. You had people like, and I harbor no ill will against these people, just I take umbrage with this particular criticism, that I know Terra Mantis and Silvermont were both making in regards to some of their mechanics. Their criticisms were essentially, it isn't Souls. So both of them independently suggested that, again, it's not particularly these two people, they just happen to have said it. I know there's millions of others. They both said there should be an Estus system that replenishes every checkwood bonfire, whatever the check, I can't remember, the shrines or whatever the fuck they are, I don't remember. This kind of shit pisses me off.
Yeah, that's just asinine.
To like, yeah, the Souls-like thing is kind of taken over, and it's just genuinely irritating. Not every game has to be Dark Souls. Not every action game, not every RPG, not every action RPG has to be Dark Souls. Everyone needs to calm the fuck down, because this game looks more like Onimusha Ninja Gaiden than it does Dark Souls, and which of course the combination of the two is kind of where Dark Souls resides, plus some RPG elements, so naturally it's attracting a lot of the same fans. But stay the fuck out of influencing other shit, because it's really irritating.
Well, and I think
not every game's Souls.
I think if you're gonna say that, oh, it needs some sort of Estus mechanic, you can't call it Souls-like. You can only call it Souls. That's not Souls-like.
Yeah. Well, and the
and I know they weren't saying literally Estus. They were saying like some Estus-ish thing, some way of like healing within limited capacity.
What they weren't using the term Estus, but they were describing an exact Estus system. But what bothered me the most, the the central thrust of what they were saying was that it is an objectively better system, so why try anything different when there's already been a proven better system? And that just makes me want to just go outside and start punching people for no reason.
Wow.
Why try electricity when we've got steam, you know?
Exactly. That fucking irritates the shit out of me.
Gasoline powers our cars just fine.
It's like when people say like Estus was inherently better than the grass system for Demon Souls. It's like you can make arguments for, I mean, PvP is a different story, but like as far as intentional uses go, it's the same thing. It's like what's traditional, what isn't, what are the effects on the overall gameplay. I mean, if 90% of people think Estus is a better system than the grass and demons, that's fine. I don't care, but at least like address the other, you know what I mean? Like just don't say this is better, everyone else shut up. Implement it, developers, because this is what makes good games. It's like no.
Yeah, that's just
you make your own fucking game, son.
Totally.
Get out of here.
I think that's an insta dismiss.
Yeah. I really, looking back on like how quickly the conversation has progressed about Nioh, I really didn't intend to be that aggressive right from the get-go. It just occurred to me that like, it happened, and I'm like, I forgot people said this shit. I have to address this now. But
I do think
in regards to Onimusha, see? You see? In regards to Nioh in general, I think it looks like an Onimusha Ninja Gaiden with some Dark Souls or Souls pacing in combat, I think, but it's not the same dynamic. I think that's where the confusion lies, but that's my general perception.
They're pretty much squaring up and inviting Dark Souls criticism, or comparisons with what they're doing, because they're hitting the life and death thing like super fucking hard. The you will die and death is not final, and you know, if you have a mission to accomplish, you will keep going type thing. Like, I mean, I don't know how that's implemented mechanically in the game, but as far as the marketing and the trailers, and they show your guy getting killed by big humanoid bosses wielding naganatas, and then you rise and recover to take him down and all that. Like, I mean, it is definitely playing with the really undead hollow system.
Shit? Yeah. Do you really give a shit about what I mean, like, I don't want to unnecessarily bring up No Man's Sky here, but like, does marketing really mean a fuck?
No. It's a different type of marketing. That's the difference between
you're talking a selling point,
like selling point versus hype. There's a difference. No Man's Sky was hype, whereas
no, because the fan base, or the not even fan base, because the game wasn't even out yet. They were promised certain features.
Okay, so how about this? Not hype. How about propaganda?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Whereas like Nioh with the life and death and dying, resurrecting, going on to complete your mission, that's a core tenet of the game.
Fair enough, yeah.
And it also happens to be a core tenet of Souls games.
Totally, absolutely.
But to invite, okay, so here's the central problem. I think inviting the same fan base to enjoy a game you've made is not inviting that fan base to then expect the game that they all came from.
At the same time, I can't be a developer saying, you people that played this game should come play my game, but don't compare my game to your game and say that you wanted your game. That's unrealistic.
No. People in The Binding of Isaac went to fucking Nuclear Throne, and they didn't ask for, the arrows to dictate fucking shooting. Or that wouldn't be a reasonable claim.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I win. Let's move on. I'm just kidding.
But I feel, so the way I'm thinking of it is just from what I've seen of the gameplay so far, like the combat pacing that you mentioned looks very, very similar to Souls. I don't know if it plays like that. I haven't played the alpha. I haven't played the beta. I'm still without a PS4. Though I might, depending on what Nioh does, I refused to buy a PS4 just for Bloodborne. Throw whatever shit on me you will for that. I know Bloodborne is just an amazingly amazing amazing experience. But buying a system for one game is too much. Might buy it for two. I might buy it for Bloodborne and Nioh if Nioh pans out. And so,
no, I respect you for not buying it.
Well, and if you do get it, that respect is lost.
Yes,
you died.
Yes.
But like
you have a reputation to uphold now,
right? As the holdout. But I mean, I almost look at it in terms of like Nioh is not Souls-like. Nioh, from what I've seen of it, and the way that they're positioning this game with marketing, it is Souls. It's not Souls-like. Is that wrong? And so it's like at that point, like saying the Estus thing, it would almost be like making a criticism between Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2, or Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Like they're two very, very close spiritually related games, and you're just nitpicking.
But now you're talking about marketing. Like I'm
not talking about marketing
and reality of what the game actually does, and looks like, and tries to go for. Like they can say whatever the fuck they want.
Fine, marketing is.
How does the game actually play?
Marketing is the wrong word. Okay, I'll come up with some other word. But what we've seen about this game,
you're talking just like the design philosophy.
The design philosophy. How about the formula of the game? The formula of the game.
I don't think. No, I don't think it follows Dark Souls.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the pacing is much different. To me, it looks more like Ninja Gaiden and Onimusha than Dark Souls. Like by far, I'm not just saying that as like to avoid using Dark Souls as a term. I really mean to say that it looks a lot more like Onimusha and Ninja Gaiden, and not just because they're Japanese, but Onimusha just from like the animations are really reminiscent of.
I definitely see that.
Strikes and stuff.
I definitely see that.
Yeah. And Ninja Gaiden just from the boss areas, I think. I mean, a lot of the situations you're put in are really reminiscent of Ninja Gaiden 2 in particular.
You know, I wasn't sure until now, but I thought about it, and I've played Ninja Gaiden 2 and the one on the Vita, like the first one, and I really agree, actually, with like the enemy placements and stuff that I've seen in Nioh, that it reminds me a lot of how Ninja Gaiden puts you into stuff. It looks a lot like the combat is a lot slower than Ninja Gaiden, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but
that's what I meant by pacing.
Just like the pacing of like where you find enemies and like
interesting.
The lulls, just like traverse the area and see the place that they, crafted out with their 3D modeling tools and everything. Looks cool. It reminds me a lot of Ninja Gaiden 2. No, that just came to me.
So I have a bit of an abstract analogy. So Nioh is to Dark Souls is what we are to chimpanzees, in that we have a common ancestor, which is would be the Onimusha Ninja Gaiden, but they branched from the same thing. So they're of similar influences. Dark Souls obviously has a lot more RPG added in, I think. But I think they're still influenced by similar stuff. So it's a bit of a reverse of logic. Like it's not a progressive, like a lot of people see this as a timeline. Dark Souls came out first, therefore Nioh is building upon that. I think you have to go the reverse, even though they're different.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so I think they both pulled from the same sources, but went in different directions, but not too dissimilar in look.
Totally with you. So it's like, I got you. That's, wow, well done. I'm with you. So it's like, it appears Souls-like because it's pulling from common heritage, but it is in fact not borrowing from Souls. I don't know if I can say at all, but it's not saying let's make a Souls game. It's getting to a very similar place via a different path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm not denying the fact that it pulls from some Souls stuff. I think that's just how innovation works. But Yeah, no, I mean there's certainly Souls elements in it, little bits here and there, but no, I think the majority of the inspiration and the design comes from something they both drew on that were, 10, 15 years ago.
Well done, dude. Bow out on that.
Boom. Next topic. Fucking Overwatch. Let's go.
Canton, did you have anything else to add, or are you sort of like?
Well, like,
Nope.
I don't
cowed by that as I am.
Are you guys looking forward to Nioh at all? Like,
I don't have any intention of buying a PS4, so
I am.
So you are. So you think that you might buy it? Like, you might buy a PS4 if Nioh pans out as something that you'd want to play?
Yeah, it might be my second game. I don't know about always, but in the back of my mind, I've been thinking I need a second game for the PS4. I've got Bloodborne, which I'm convinced is a sure fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these days I'll be able to play that somehow. As far as going out and buying a PS4 right now, probably not right now. I'll probably wait till the next one comes out in like goddamn couple. That's irritating. But like, I will procure a PS4. I'm just waiting for some second game. Final Fantasy 15 ain't it.
procure just makes it sound like you might steal it.
I'll get my hands on one in some means. Somehow, a PS4 will appear in my living room.
Well, I mean, I'm replaying Bloodborne at the moment because I got that itch, and
yeah,
I didn't want that itch, but I got that itch, so
sure.
Now I'm playing through it all again, and I'm being like, you know what? I really like having constantly replenishing healing items that, come back when I go to the bonfire. That's nice.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Bloodborne do that? But I'm also remembering a lot of the great things that I forgot about Bloodborne, which is really nice. But Nioh, I'm kind of looking at it, and I sat with Dragon, the Dropout Dragon, for those that are listening, and we kind of watched like the alpha and some of the beta stuff, and the entire time we're just kind of looking at each other and joking because it just looks like weeby, janky Souls, Ninja Gaiden, Geralt.
Souls is weeby, janky Souls.
Yeah, so it kind of hammers
pretty
that pretty
janky.
hard, and it looks pretty janky, and I'm like, it could be its saving grace, or it could just fall flat on its face, like with Lords
Sure.
of the Fallen.
Yeah.
For me personally, I know, oh my god, there is such a huge apologetic, crowd for Lords of the Fallen, saying that it's, decent game on itself, you just don't compare it to Souls, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't look like something I want to play.
I think there's a slight case to be made.
Yeah.
No, totally respect that. I think there's a case to be made that Lords of the Fallen is fundamentally different from Souls in that it's a boss rush game. For the most part, it's not an exploring.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Most of the stuff I have it. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of it, and most of the stuff I have seen of it is speed run, so it could just seem like that to me. Anyone in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks really fun if you're speed running it, because it's, I don't know, there's basic but effective strategy. I don't know.
Sure.
It's nice. What was I gonna say? Oh, before we move on to Overwatch, I thought in regards to being without a PS4 and something that was an exclusive that has just been announced for Steam is Nier. Automata,
yeah, something like that.
Automata, whatever.
Automata?
Yeah,
automata? Like an automaton? Like a robot?
I
think that's what it is.
Okay.
But they're Japanese. I don't know.
We'll find out
they
when
know
they
English,
say it in game.
I don't really. Yeah. So I'm of two minds of this. On one hand, I know it's an action game, and I know there's combos galore, and there's a fucking cool looking chick with a blindfold in it that looks really fucking badass.
It's super anime.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so, yeah, like on one hand I'm stoked, And then on the other side, it's the sequel to Nier, and I really hated the first Nier. So like Nier for me like looks really cool in trailers, but you get down to it and it's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like what? I don't really like much about it.
See, I kind of had that reaction too because I didn't really like the first Nier either, but it's coming to PC, which means that it's going to run well, at least if you have a good enough computer. And it's made by Platinum Games, and I have a lot of trust in Platinum. And it looks really cool, so it's kind of got like, you know, more checks than Dark Souls had when I first picked it up, like in terms of like, this looks like it'll be good. So I'm like, I might just play this and see how it pans out because it looks like a pretty cool game to me.
You know, I said all that forgetting that Platinum was making it, so...
Oh, Platinum's making it. Never mind. Pack up. Let's go.
I really can't express my love for Vanquish, and Metal Gear Rising was pretty good.
Vanquish.
And those are the only two games I like from them.
Vanquish might be getting a PC port.
I
know, I saw that.
Okay. I'm so happy.
That would be such a good PC game.
Because I sold my consoles, my Xbox 360 and PS3, so I don't have anything to play Vanquish on anymore. So I can't play it, but it's a really, really, really good game, and if it comes out on PC, you should all play it because it's super fucking hard, like actually hard, and really fun, and it looks great, and on PC, it'll just look better. So just play it. Do it, buy it, and it'll probably be like $30. So do it.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, 20.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, I was thinking Australian. Yeah.
Oh,
so.
right.
Let's talk about Overwatch. I'll ask you flat out because I still have not experienced it, and you know, watching it and seeing the enthusiasm unfold and not die, and the hate and the fan art, and what the fuck is up with Overwatch? What is up with this game? Why is this game so special?
Because it's the greatest shooter since fucking 2007.
Okay.
That's Call of Duty 4.
It feels really good. Like it controls really fucking well. I heard that Blizzard were making a team-based FPS, and I was like, okay, good joke.
The fucking MOBA guys are making an FPS?
Yeah, the fucking World of Warcraft guys are making an FPS, but they did, and it's really, really tight, and it's really good, and I hate Team Fortress 2, but I love this, so explain that to me.
Yeah, same.
And there's like large character selection for you, so you can choose, you know, which one you want to start off with, and then eventually you'll probably end up branching into quite a few others because everyone's going to be like, hey, can you switch to this thing? And you'll be like, I don't play anything else but this character. You know, and they'll be angry at you. So you'll learn more. But it's got a really cool set of maps. There's not many of them, but, you know, once you get into the competitive metagame,
in my opinion,
that'll be good. Once you get into the competitive, because remembering where shit is on maps and like sightlines and shit, is a lot of it, and it's just really high quality all around to me. So, what's your take on it, Justin?
It's fucking phenomenal. It is so good. I can't even.
That doesn't tell me why.
It is.
Why?
No, Paul, you gotta experience it for yourself. It's the best thing ever. It's okay. Look, like, there's fucking, what is there, like 30 heroes or something like that? 25, 24, something like that. I don't know.
Are there? You hear about maybe 6 of them.
No, Paul, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. No, they're like the best ever, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, like, it's really hard to talk because this game is so fucking hype.
Like, it's shutting me down, man. It's shutting me down.
It just has something for fucking ever. I mean, I think there's one hero that I've never played, but they're like, it's Roadhog. And I think,
is he the junkyard guy?
No, that's Junkrat.
Oh, Junkrat.
Roadhog's the fat dude with the shotgun. He's in the tank class.
He's a tank.
I hate him.
There are 22.
He's the one that could do the scorpion hook.
Yeah.
The get over here thing. So like all the heroes are like really diverse, and there's like a lot of nuance. Like you there's no such thing as samey in the game. There's no such thing as samey. Like
there's no Ryu and Ken.
Really different. Exactly.
Okay.
It's totally the opposite of that. Like, and I'm fine. Like I just played Winston, who's the giant monkey guy. Like for the first time last week, and I'm like, this is fucking. He has the lightning gun, and I don't really like tanks unless it's D.Va. D.Va's the chick in the mech.
Yeah,
thing,
totally.
And like this is.
I know D.Va. She's one of the 6 you hear about.
Yeah. And you know it's just not really my thing and whatever. And then all of a sudden you're playing, and I'm an idiot, and I play quick play because I'm a masochist. And like I noticed we don't have a tank because everyone on my team is an IQ below 40. So I'm like, okay, D.Va's not gonna be really good because they have a lot of offensive heroes. They can just slam the mech down. Zarya, I'm just not good with. Roadhog, fuck that. I guess let's give Winston a shot. And I'm like, I'm having a lot of fucking fun. Like playing this giant ass monkey guy. And I thought it hit, like every single one of them are so fun. And the dynamic in between, like everything has a counter. So like even heroes you don't like still have like pragmatic use.
Sure.
So therefore you have fun with them even if you don't aesthetically like them or like fundamentally like them based on like your weapon preference or something.
Let me ask you this: are heroes exclusive to a team, or can you go out as all Genjis?
You can go in quick play or like in a party. Yes, you can go out as all Genjis. In competitive play, it's limit 1.
Okay.
Because people were going in with like fucking 6 Winstons, and it was a shit show. It was a fucking shit show.
Like 1 Lucio and 5 Divas and.
Yeah, it was. Oh my! It was horrible.
Yeah.
It
was bad, and they changed it, and now it's a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're constantly working on like. There's 2 characters that have gotten buffed, then debuffed, then buffed again. Like they are so in tune with like the nuance, like the really, really nitty gritty nuance balance of shit. Like they're trying to make this as fair as possible, like speaking like what Blizzard's doing, and it is working. Like people are enthusiastic, people are giving their feedback, questions are being answered. The experience as it goes on not only is getting more shit, which is to say more characters, more maps, new features and stuff, new
skins. There's been a new character already as well.
Yeah, exactly, and there's a new one on the way. But it's things are being changed with what we already have. So like the total of everything is just shifting in a way that's shifting more towards perfection, and it's so exciting to see. And it's so like the base they had to work with was so great from the start that it's like, I mean, fuck, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
One of the things that I'm super impressed with just watching it from the outside is Blizzard's handling of the community. Like they seem like they're being, and I know the guy, Justin, you're a big Warframe guy. I know those guys were like open books with the whole thing. But Blizzard, for like a major development studio and this hugely popular big release game, like they seem like they are being pretty open with things. And I really like their unabashedly shaming like cheaters and hackers and modders and like their activity in the forums. I've seen so many threads where people are sort of like, oh, just got fucking banned from Overwatch, didn't do anything and blah blah blah, and somebody from Blizzard will come in and say like, actually here's a complete transcript of everything that you did wrong, and you know,
all
enjoy
like the horrible shit they said in chat and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so
and sort of like, I wasn't doing anything, I was just minding my own business, playing as, you know, I was just Widowmaker, and whatever it is, like, and the characters people love to hate or what, I didn't do anything wrong, and like they're coming out and naming names and saying like, no, you did everything wrong, and here it is for the world to see. Better change your avatar. Better try and buy this under an anonymous account, because we'll still find you.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's weird to see that kind of not necessarily transparency, but just responsiveness from like a developer that fucking huge.
Well, and
it's really refreshing.
I think it takes balls too, like for them to post this stuff and say like they are basically saying, fuck you, you have abused our trust as a fan of this game, and you are trying to cheat in something that we are working really hard.
Specifically in regards to that,
yeah, absolutely. And
mine was more general.
And
what I just said.
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, in regards to throwing out names and throwing people under the bus, like they're saying, like, I don't care if you never buy another Blizzard game. Like, you're ruining this for everybody, and we're working really hard to make this good for everybody. So go take your ball and go home.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I don't feel like I've ever seen that before.
Yeah. No, I can say for certain I definitely haven't.
No.
In regards to like the whole thing, I think what's really cool to see, and Warframe does this also, but Warframe, oh god, what are the developers' names? The name of the developer? Oh god. Yes, Digital Extremes. Thank you, person who doesn't play Warframe that much.
Why did I know that?
I don't know. Digital Extremes. They're a lot more apologetic about it, but it's weird to see both of them. But in Blizzard's case, for sure, a lot weirder to see them admit they make mistakes when like implementing things. Like when they were talking about like the skill calculation with skill points, they were like, we realized we did this wrong and we're going to change it to this so it'd fix this, and you guys had a lot of great suggestions and it would alleviate you. Well, like they're just giving you the rundown of like how they fucked up and what they're going to do to fix it, and it's weird to see.
Yeah,
like, it's really weird.
They had a lot of ground to make up though.
Sorry.
No.
For what?
Oh no, I was going to say, like, didn't but Blizzard made they did Diablo 3, right? And didn't that get like the shit kicked out of it for just taking forever and being craptastic and then being closed?
Well, yeah, but I don't think that meant they owed something to the Overwatch fan base.
No. But I'm saying like maybe theory crafting as a larger development studio, they witnessed all the shit they got from the way they approached and launched eventually Diablo 3, and how it like disappointed so many people and just alienated so many people and got Blizzard a lot of hate. And so maybe they're kind of saying, you know what, we're going to be humble. We're going to be open about this. We're going to take our mistakes square in the chest, and we're going to let you know about it. And let's just, trying to do the big reveal and just pull up the curtain at the last minute and say like, ta-da, it's done and we're done and enjoy. Well, but this sucks. Well, but we're done. And then just kind of leaving it versus trying to make like an ongoing running, just transparent process for doing it. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually what's happening.
No, I don't think that's what's happening, for a pretty simple reason. I mean, Diablo 3 is just a launch. They had the Reaper of Souls or whatever DLC, which I think, I don't know, I'm not even going to get into it. Overwatch is a $40 game. If you're on PC, if you're on console, you had to buy the $60 version. That promises free stuff down the road. There's no paid DLC or anything. And future content relies entirely on loot box purchases. I mean, for the most part. Or people saying, hey, I'm having a lot of fun playing this game. You should play it too, friend of mine. And pay the $40 or whatever it is. I think that this, I mean, I'd like to think it was general goodwill. I mean, I've seen nothing to make me doubt that, except for the the corporate dynamic going on is that they need money and they're willing to appease the fan base in certain ways to ensure that they have a constant player base that keeps buying stuff, keeps bringing new people there, so they can keep adding stuff for free. Otherwise, they can't add stuff for free. Because they said straight off the bat, like, you will not have to pay for additional characters. You do not have to unlock characters in the base game. All of them are unlocked. There's no progression like that. And yeah, it's a weird dynamic because it's like a forced sticking to your word. It's like any other development studio would be like, yeah, we said we weren't going to charge you, but like, you know, it costs money, guys. I mean, come on. Like, they're really sticking it out, and I think this is just their, and it's working. I mean, good on them. But I think it's just that kind of response, not necessarily. I don't think they owe anything to or they think they owe anything to a fan base for previous fuck ups on certain games.
Maybe not for previous fuck ups, but I don't know. There's got to be something more to it. Like it seems like some kind of big revolutionary experiment in terms of the way they're approaching this game, right? In an age where additional content is nickel and dimed the fuck out for every little thing.
Well, that's because they're this is familiar to me because I play Warframe, but they're operating as a free-to-play model. Like, their attitude, their design decisions, it's free-to-play, but you just don't consider it free-to-play because you pay $40 up front. So it's kind of like, it's not quite free-to-play, but as long as you make the initial purchase, everything else they add to it after that is free. Yeah. So it's the free-to-play attitude so long as you pay for it up front. And that attitude is something I'm familiar with because of games like Warframe.
Yeah, with Warframe, it's kind of like they depend on the people that, and there are a lot of these people that will pay at least $40 worth for plat. Like,
hi there.
Yeah, like
hi.
At least people like
every Prime access,
just all the time. I think that's.
I don't want to tell you how much money I've spent. On Warframe.
Don't. It's probably not a good idea.
It's over $2,000.
Oh,
what?
Oh my fucking god.
Let's not talk about it. Just
okay.
Forget I said anything.
Damn.
Okay, it's over I don't know if it's quite that. It's over 1,000. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm
staggered. I'm staggered by that. Yeah, that exhausted my poise. Hang on, my poise meter has to slowly recharge.
Yeah. Well, it's because every time you get the 75% off coupon, it's like, all right, I'm buying the most expensive one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The platinum pack, because that's
well, you know what,
and then Prime Access comes out, and it's like, I'm not spending 50 hours to get another character. Like, here's $80.
And you said you've been playing it for like many years, and
2 years, yeah.
All right.
Too many, you know.
There are definitely more expensive habits you could have.
True. Gambling, you know?
Or golf.
At least I don't gamble. Golf, yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a lot of money in the scheme of what we're doing, but, you know, I always look at this and I'm like, hey, you could always be a vintage car restorer or something.
Totally.
I don't know.
You could always be a guy that just gives his money away in his free time, right?
You could own a yacht.
That's probably more expensive.
That's probably more expensive.
You could be a yacht collector.
Oh my god, that would be the most expensive hobby you could possibly have.
I know, that's the point.
Oh my god,
you're just reaching for like the most amount of pointless money.
Maybe rivaled by private jet collector.
No, there you go.
Private jet collector. In a place where you don't have to fly for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god. So you got to buy the game.
You keep saying that.
In a nutshell, that's what I'm saying to you. All right, we're gonna all three play, and it's gonna be a great time. And I'm gonna be like, hey, Paulie, you should be this character. You'll have a lot of fun. And Canton will be like, no, be this one.
So,
and be like, I'm gonna be this one.
So let me ask you this. So I will say, if I do buy this game, I think the first character I'm gonna play is McCree. I've always been fascinated by like the gunslinger type in a world of mechs or knights or whatever it is. Like I feel like gunslingers are very underrepresented in games.
Okay, so I have an idea, just as some Overwatch kind of analysis stuff. Give me 3 characters that you like. I will start with McCree, and I'll tell you why they are what they are, like what makes them different.
Okay, so
to kind of give you the feel of like the difference in the characters. So just to give you an example of with McCree is insanely strong.
Right.
If you can aim fucking perfectly. He's someone that is.
Oh, that sounds like Doom.
A good McCree is, I think, better than any good character. Like if you are the best McCree, you are more valuable than any other best. Whatever, like,
because he can just kill people.
He fucking destroys
so
people.
Yeah.
He and his So you have a revolver, and his alternate fire is Fan the Hammer, and you just blast 6 shots in a row. You don't need to keep clicking. You just click once and it blasts 6 shots. So you can blast it like take like someone with extraordinarily high HP. Take a tank class. You can sneak up or just run up in front of him, blast 6 shots, use his other skill, which is rolling and reloading at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then blast another 6 shots immediately and just take out a fucking tank. So he's someone really good if you can aim properly.
So he's
especially like close up, he's fine, but distance wise, I mean, he is precision.
He's he's like the D&D equivalent of a striker. He's like take out this one guy very, very quickly. He specializes in like, okay, he's an assassin.
Yeah, but his ult is crowd control.
Oh, interesting.
So he is high noon.
Yeah, high noon
it's kind of like this auto aim, like target lock kind of thing. Anything in front of him, he just guns down.
And I remember. Kills. I don't think I've seen that, but I remember reading about it, and it's like it takes a fuck ton of time to line up. But it auto hits everybody, right? That he can see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the precision guy, and then when you get enough precision kills, or if you wait out the clock enough, you'll get the crowd control.
Okay.
Power.
Interesting.
Or whatever.
I'm a big fan of Matt Mercer, so I'm curious to.
You like Matt Mercer?
You don't?
I've heard him in like anime roles, and he just bothers me.
Okay.
I don't like Matt Mercer, and I don't like Crispin Freeman. Crispin Freeman plays Winston, and I fucking hate Crispin Freeman. He's the one that made me put on the Japanese voices, because I can't stand Crispin Freeman. He's Togusa in Ghost in the Shell in the English dub, the mullet guy.
Sure.
And that's the only good role he fucking has in his life.
Wow.
I hate him.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck you, Crispin. You have a stupid name, Crispy. Fucking nerd. All right. What was the?
Canton, do you feel that's accurate?
Yeah, he's damage. He's long range, which is good, and he's close range. He's long range really great if you can aim. You are terrible. You are worth nothing if you can't aim as a McCree. But
that's probably not for me.
Basically, he has a sniper rifle, except he doesn't have a scope. So
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh shit. Yeah. No good. Okay, how about Farah? I like her too because I'm a sucker for angels, and her like whole angel mech looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Farah's fucking awesome. You just have to maximize your time in the air. Farah is so vulnerable when she's on the ground, so you really have to strategize of.
But she can only hover for like a couple of seconds, right? Like 6 or 8 seconds or something.
Well, she can shift. Her shift ability on the keyboard is she just launches. It just propels straight up, and then if you hold right mouse, she hovers while her tank it drops and it charges back up. So once her fuel runs out, you start to fall. But if you keep holding R, like it recharges while you hold it. So you'll like have these little bumps. So you can actually stay in the air for quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Especially if you gain a vantage point and then jump from there, and then you can hover for a lot longer if you're shooting down on people below the vantage point you originated at.
And if you can like predict where people are going to be or how they're going to move,
yes,
you can pretty much just nuke them, because if you see a tracer that isn't very good at being a tracer, you can knock her out of the running like straight away.
Yeah, she also has some not crowd control, but like forced positioning if you use her second ability, which is like this arm rocket shot, and it doesn't do that much damage, but it like it pushes people, so you can knock people off it's like force in Dark Souls essentially.
Oh, okay.
You can push people off ledges, you can push them back into a hallway, so they're easier target. Like you won't get flanked. They're easier targets for someone like a Soldier 76 who could just mow them down from the front. But yeah, Pharah's really good at crowd control if you're decent at calculating her projectile timing.
Okay.
But she's my favorite offensive hero. She's fucking
amazing. Cheers. Okay.
Again, if you can't aim and you can't lead your shots, then you're useless, Pharah, and
okay
to die.
Well,
then maybe
that comes with all offensive heroes. I think. I mean, you need to aim to kill people. I just highlighted it with McCree because he's really fucking hard to aim with because he doesn't have an automatic weapon. His shots don't have range like rockets exploding like Pharah does.
Well,
and they're not mini shotguns like Reaper.
Well, I would like to disagree just because there's Soldier 76, and Soldier 76 is pretty much, if you're new to Overwatch, pick this guy.
Is he the robot?
No,
he's the Call of Duty.
Yeah, he's Mr.
He's the
Call of
Duty
Duty man.
White hair,
his special
jacket.
ability is sprinting.
Yeah, his special ability is sprinting. It's amazing.
I was
nobody
gonna
else
say
can
like
sprint.
I was gonna say like coming at so I've picked two guys that's one of their two heroes whose stipulation is if you're good at aiming, and I'm not. So if what's a good noob character? Like if you were gonna pick this game up and play for the first time and have some success, what's easy mode in Overwatch? Even though they're trying very, very hard to balance stuff, what could you go out and do if you're not particularly adept at first person keyboard and mouse shooters?
Well, I'll give you one per class, I think. Soldier 76 for offense.
Okay.
Either Hanzo or Mei for defense. I'm not sure. Mei because she can self-heal, and Hanzo because he has a bow and arrow and he has an insanely powerful ult. I'm not sure which one's probably the most user-friendly in defense.
I don't know if I'd call Hanzo's ult like insanely powerful, like for people that have played for more than...
Yeah, well, yeah. Hanzo's ult is insane.
I'd say Junkrat
too, using her ult. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Junkrat.
Because he's got a grenade launcher.
He just can't heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he can set traps too and stuff.
Yeah.
Tank probably... Oh. Definitely not Diva. Reinhardt, maybe? But Reinhardt is like a melee
Winston
weapon.
I think
Winston, yeah.
because he can like jump out of trouble, he can chase people, he can put down a bubble, which is pretty self-explanatory, and he doesn't have to aim.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Winston, big monkey man, crispy monkey, and then Lucio for healer. Lucio. I think. Yeah. Lucio's the rollerblader.
Lucio helps just by being there. Just by being
nice.
You literally just like
AOE
press
healing.
Shift and he starts healing everybody. Yeah. So. It's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
And he has like burst fire pistol. It's fucking cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Were any of those on your radar for cool looking characters? Cool using characters?
No.
No,
not at all. That's incredibly disappointing.
Well, they're all fun. I thought me and Mei, we used to have like hatred, but then I started playing Mei, and Mei's I am a scummy Mei player. Everyone hates me. It's fucking great.
Okay.
Well, I started with like this.
So let the hate continue.
I started with this thing where I was like, I only want to play this character, but then I sort of branched off and realized that I liked the abilities of certain characters that I didn't like overall, if you know what I mean. So I would rather have the ability to be useful to my team specifically than play the character that I wanted to play, like, just aesthetically or whatever. So I went from wanting to play as Tracer, or I wanted to play as Zenyatta, but Zenyatta back then was really hard to use.
Before he got buffed.
Yeah, before he got buffed. So I kind of ended up playing a lot of Lucio and Soldier 76 and Junkrat as well. And then I started branching off into everyone. So it's not really a game where I think it's great to go in with this mindset of I'm only going to play with one character. But, there are some easier heroes to get used to first.
And so it's almost
dip your toes in.
So it's almost like a fighting game. Like you might have a main, but then you have your other characters that you can also play.
Yes.
No, I'd say it's even broader than a fighting game. Your effectiveness and your skill as a player is being able to be good with everyone. Not necessarily mastering one, but especially since the emphasis, like that's the reason why all the characters are unlocked from the get-go. It's because you're meant to switch mid-match depending on what your team needs. So being good at a given character isn't going to benefit you shit half the time. You have to learn all of them.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a second. So like you were talking about like the competitive play in the esports and these pro teams that are going out there. They're playing with all characters in all situations all the time. That's shit, right? They all have like their one specialist, and they're going out there as a cohesive team that's been like planned beforehand, right? No,
it's different because I'm talking quick play.
Okay.
So when you're talking about playing with randoms, you really do have to be good with everyone. When you're talking about esports and shit, you have the support guy, you have the tank guy, you have the two offensive guys. So you really only have to be good with 4 or 5 characters per person.
Okay.
Because you essentially play a class. But like when I'm out there and I see 2 bastions, that's the turret guy. When I see 2 bastions fucking hung up in a corner, or Torbjorn, the guy who can build the little mini turrets. I switched to a Genji. I don't like Genji. I think he's bad, and I'm not good with him. I half of it is I think he's just not well defined enough, and half of it I'm like I just suck at Genji, so I'm like whatever. But I know he has the deflect ability, and that insta fucks a Bastion, and to a lesser extent the Torbjorn turret. So I mean. It's not a character I like to play, and for the same reason I'll switch to Winston, or one character I never switch to because I'm just so bad at him it's not even worth it is fucking Reinhardt. If I can't shoot things, I'm not good with him, and he has a big ass axe and a shield, but he's like the most useful fucking character in your whole team. Like Reinhardt's almost a standard, and I'm not good with him. So it's good to be, I mean I guess you're right on a certain sense. Like it's good to be like to have a good character, like someone you can go in with, like as a starter.
Sure.
Going, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's what you've got your starter and your bench.
Yeah. But you use bench isn't a rarity. Like you use your bench, quote unquote, a lot.
Sure.
Like that's you end up like some matches you use your bench way more than your main. Like I'll start out with a Mei or a Reaper or like something that I think will be the most effective in a given situation, and then I'll be like, okay, well they have this, team composition X, and I'm like, okay, well it's not really working. Like, if they have 3 Pharahs, and I'm Mei, and if I'm shooting ice walls everywhere, and they're just flying right the fuck over it, then I'm gonna be, Soldier 76, so I can shoot them out of the sky. It's completely different.
Sure.
So.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun. You should buy it. It's only $40, Paulie.
I'll check it out.
Come on.
I think it's worth the $40. To be honest,
it sounds
I didn't think it would be. I bought it anyway, and I ended up not regretting it. So
it was on Green Man Gaming. I think it still might be for $32 right now, or $33, something like that. Pretty fucking cheap.
Go out, buy it now.
You should buy it. You should buy it.
Okay.
You should buy it.
I'll check it out. It's a tough sell because I do not, almost as a universal statement, I do not enjoy first-person games.
You know, I really thought I was, with the exception of like Deus Ex or something, like the RPG heavy first-person ones with shooter mechanics. I thought I was over first-person shooters since like the golden days of Call of Duty and shit. I quote unquote fucking pre-ordered Overwatch like 4 hours before it came out because I just gave it a shot, and I'm like, worst case scenario, like I don't like it, who gives a fuck, like it, whatever. And then I didn't watch any of the footage. I knew the world was going crazy for it, and I'm like, it's just another one of those fucking competitive shooters, whatever. And then I started playing it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, why wasn't this on my radar sooner? It's amazing.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna tell you that I don't like first person shooters either. You should still play it. I mean, I do, but I was like, it was a thing of the past for the most part. And I still just fucking fell in love with them.
It'll want to make you buy a better mouse pad like I did.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see any discernible difference in like mouse pads. Maybe I just need to buy like.
No, I bought a bigger one. I needed a bigger one.
Oh, you bought a bigger one?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I play on super fucking high sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because I have a DPI button, so I can drop it to like 400 when I need to.
We have the same mouse, bro.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Proteus Core. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Cool.
Pretty fucking great.
All right, I'll continue to eyeball it. Maybe one of these days I'll just get a wild hair. Check it out. But yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on Overwatch? Should we call it?
No, I said it's
I think I'm done.
Fuck this.
And I'm out. Thanks for the fish.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about a couple more things, but I didn't expect to riff on what we did for so long. I'm fucking burnt out. Let's call it. Save it for another day.
Cool.
Something to look forward to.
All right, sweet. Well then, we are out. We hit Dark Souls 3. We hit some Overwatch. Hit some Nioh, yay or nay. We'll include links, of course, to Lady Canton's channel, Justin, aka xTheVisionary's channel. They're both on YouTube doing some stuff. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them both on Twitch. They're all over the place. So we'll include links to all the relevant places. And I don't know, you guys got anything to say on the way out?
Nope.
Anything you want to plug? Working on anything? You want to send people to any specific place?
Not a goddamn thing.
Nope.
Okay.
Not a goddamn thing.
Not at all.
I'm doing nothing.
All right, cool.
Dude, the channel's like dead right now. Just fucking dead.
It's just it's hibernating. It's living off of bat stores.
It might be dead, like really.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Like
No. Like I just, if something comes along, great. If not, then like I don't know.
Well, so then maybe dormant. It's like a volcano. It's like it does nothing for all these years, and all of a sudden you just get an eruption.
Dormant. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Dormant's a fair word.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, if you guys out there listening have anything to say, did we get something horribly wrong? What did we fuck up? Let us know either on Twitter, let us know in the comments, hit us up individually or collectively, and we will catch you on the next one. We'll try not to make it quite so long, but that is not a guarantee of soonness. All right, cool. Then I guess we're out. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right, cool.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.